Guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time, and today I'd want to share a very interesting part of my life here in the UK with you. I want to share how I was able to secure the first job here I had in the UK as an international student ambassador. So when I got to the UK, as an international student, everyone is so desperate to get a job. You basically, I didn't know anyone here in Norwich. I didn't know people, so I was quite desperate. I didn't know what to do, so I had to get my documents together, requesting for them and all that. I had everything together, and then I needed to start job hunting. Now, fortunately for me, I was able to land the role as an international students ambassador for Ghana here in the UK and in my university. Now let me clear some misconception about this role, because majority of time when people call me or people send me a message, they're like, I want to get your role. How did you get your role? I want to also get it. Thinking that it comes with a fee waiver. No, it does not. It does not. There is no fee waiver. Or tuition fee waiver. There is no accommodation fee waiver. In fact, there is no sort of benefit as a student being an international student ambassador. No. If you're going to get any benefit, it is because of the role, not because you're a student. So it doesn't really change anything about you being a student here. You are going to, pay fees unless you're on scholarship. Just like every other person, you're going to pay accommodation just like every other person. It is a role. It's just like a job in every other organization. So please let me clear this misconception here today. It does not come with a tuition fee waiver. It does not come with any accommodation or any other sort of benefit. No. You are just going to be like, every other student, in the school. So that is one. Now, the next thing, what do I do as an international student ambassador? What is the role? The role here comes, in so many forms. But in general, it's like you are an intermediary between the school and applicants. Student applicants, people who would want to come to the school. So you are basically like some sort of an intermediary. So as much as the school has a regional office, especially in Africa, where I'm coming from, there is a sub-Saharan regional office in Nigeria where they are responsible for both East and West Africa. The number of applicants keep increasing. So it is very, very, important that, or very necessary that the school would have, some more students who would also, support or assist the work of the regional office back home. So that is how come they actually employed me as an international student ambassador for Ghana. Now, what do I do? So the first major role here is what we call campaigns. So you basically call students or applicants back home who would want to, probably enroll in the school. So you call them, you ask them about the difficulties they are facing, the challenges, sometimes they have some misconceptions that you need to clear, because majority of the time you get students using agents who basically have very little knowledge. Some of these agents have very little knowledge about the school. So they are not able to give them the right information. So sometimes when you call these applicants, I find it quite fulfilling that I'm able to give them the right information, because you ask them a few questions and you could see that they are not even aware of the current state of their application. They are not even aware of it. So you would have to speak to them and clarify some doubts and misconceptions, assist them, direct them as to the appropriate place they can go and all that, so that they can be able to, join the school. So that was one of the major roles as an international student ambassador that I do. Now, secondly, was social media content creation. So we have to create content on social media. The school, especially when it comes to the International Student Office, we have a Facebook account, we have an Instagram account, we have a TikTok account and all that. So we needed to keep those accounts running. And by creating content, it is usually, we actually play a role in creating some of these content. So sometimes you may be given the task that, okay, create content with regards to the school's accommodation or the library or something. And then you do it. You can do it with pictures and videos. You can write an article or whatever it is. Then it will be published or it will be posted on the social media page. And sometimes too, it is our own discretion because, for instance, for the African student, the sub-Saharan African student, we had a Facebook page that we had to manage. So we would have to create our own content on the Facebook page. So that is also done. Now, another rule or another thing that we were doing is the campus or accommodation tours. So sometimes you have a group of, let's say, high school students who would want to take a tour, in the school. So you will be made to take these students, around the school, the lecture halls, the library, the accommodations, the different, interesting places. When you come to UAE, there are lots and lots more of interesting places. So when we get these tours or these students coming in for a tour, we take them through all these places just for, for them to be able to decide if they would want to still enroll with us. So we do that, and that is it. Now we also have emails and other, enquiries that we respond to. So we have emails where African student emails, we have West African student emails that people send us messages via those emails, and then we are able to respond and give them assistance. We also have other platforms where students who would want to ask any questions, random questions about the school, about their applications and all that, they can go in there and then we assist them, and then we explain, or sometimes we help do a follow-up on their application. So that is quite an interesting thing because you are able to assist people. You are able to, sort of provide a sort of service to them, to applicants who would want to come to the school. So majority of the time I get students, not just from Ghana, even though I am the Ghanaian student ambassador, I still get messages from people all over, from Togo, Pakistan, Cameroon, Nigeria, a lot of places, because apart from me working as a student ambassador for Ghana, my course, that is my investment and financial management course, may also trigger some students to send me direct messages. So if a student wants to enroll, or want to read a course that is in the Norwich Business School, say accounting or finance or marketing or even investment like I'm doing, they tend to, send me messages. So it doesn't necessarily mean that I only respond to Ghanaian students. I respond to other, nationals too, which is quite interesting. Now, because of that particular role or that particular task, you are made to learn. You need to understand the different dynamics when it comes to all these different countries, because when nationals from these different countries are applying, it's different. So it is different from the way students in West Africa would apply, or the kind of documents that is needed from them. And it is different from the way students in, let's say, in Asia or in Europe the kind of documents they would need to be able to qualify for a particular course. So we need to make sure that, you need to make sure as an ambassador that you are aware of all these documents, you are aware of all these processes, so that you can better, help them. However, if you don't know, or if you don't have any idea, it is quite easy. You just recommend another ambassador to them, and then they can send a message to that ambassador, and ask for help. So that is okay, and that is something that I really enjoyed about this role, because as much as you do your best, there is also 24/7 available support for all the ambassadors. So if you have any problems, you can just send it to the your immediate superior, who is there to give you all the assistance that you need. If you're facing any difficulties, they are there to give you the support and all that. So that is one very interesting thing. Now, my final task when it comes to my student ambassador duties is the campus modeling and photography. So I'll put a few of my pictures in there. So I basically modeled for the school at a point, take pictures, take videos. Once a while, when the school would have to update their picture banks, so they would request that student ambassadors come in and take pictures for the school. So if you feel that you want to do it, you just pick up that task, and then you go and you look good, and then you take the pictures. And it was very, very interesting for me, especially seeing my picture like on campus, passing by all the time when I'm going for lectures. I see it and I'm like, I'm very happy. Like, I smile to myself that look at me, that kind of thing. I'm very happy that I'm featured, and it is a way of me giving also back to the school, because it has also given me a platform for me to travel here to the UK to study, to see how people are, to experience different cultures and all that. So that is also my way of giving out, apart from being paid for it. At least my image is also doing wonders. You get it? Yeah. So that is the role. Apparently there are other roles, lots of different tasks that you can do as an ambassador, because apart from having international student ambassadors, the school has student ambassadors that would also help when it comes to any sort of events in the school. They can help in assisting events. They can help in impromptu tours. Sometimes they may not have very earlier information. Maybe the tours just came impromptu and they needed someone quickly. So the school has student ambassadors who would also do other roles. But at the same time, majority of the time when there are very huge sort of events coming on, we all work together. You may not even see the difference between an international student ambassador and then a campus sort of student ambassador. So we all work together, and it's very fun during those times. Sometimes we get tired together, we have a chit chat together. Sometimes and even as international student ambassadors, the international students office is very, very caring, very, very supportive, and they motivate us a lot. Once a while, we go out and then have some fun, or we meet up somewhere and have some fun and all that. So it's an experience for me. It is an experience for me. Now, how did I get it? How did I get the role? So when I came, trying to look for a job and all that, and then we had a message from the regional office, manager, that the school needed international students ambassadors, and that she listed, the countries. They sent us an email actually, and then they listed the countries, and I was like, oh, there was Ghana in it. Why not? Let me just try. So I applied, and then they responded. And then they asked us to, I think, perform a task. It was basically like a social media sort of thing. You have to prove your social media experiences. And I had, some small following, not too much, very little, 1,000 followings on my Instagram. And I had quite a number on Facebook. And and I managed some other pages for some small businesses when I was in Ghana. So I just showed them all those things that I've had social media experiences. I've helped manage the pages and all that. So I sent them all that. And then I was selected for an interview. So at the interview stage, you needed to prove yourself that, you are ready for the job and you can do it. So one other thing I also, made them know is that I was a teacher, so a high school teacher back home in Ghana. So when it comes to interacting with high school students, interacting with applicants, I've been doing this as part of my job in Ghana. So interacting with people is not really a problem for me, especially with teenagers who are now looking forward to coming to the university and all that. It's not going to be a problem for me at all. And so that is also going to be one of, I think that should be one of the, the high part of my sort of my interview, and the fact that you should be able to explain the implication of social media on organizations, because it is now sort of a necessity in every organization that you should get a social media page, whether you like it or not. Yeah. So I needed to give my own sort of recommendations as to what I can do better when I join their team and all that. And yeah, so that was how I was selected. And after selection, you needed to undergo training. So what sort of training is that? Data protection and privacy. Because you are going to deal with a whole lot of information about people. So you needed to know how to sort of protect people's information. And in the UK, that is not a joke. If you make a mistake, you are going to pay for it. So they needed to ensure that we are all going through that data, general data protection and privacy or regulation sort of thing. We needed to do that training so that we know what to do, how to respond, or what to do at every point in time. Sometimes it may not be your fault that you lose your email has been hacked or something, or you lose some sort of information. No. But what should you do if it happens that way and all that? So they take you through all the training. It was a very eye-opening training for me. So I did that, and yes, at the end of the day, I was selected. So this particular role has had an impact on me in such a way that I don't mind pursuing, that sort of path as an international ambassador for whatever organization it may be, a school, any international organization or something like that. I would have to deal with international people because I've interacted with people, and majority of the time these are master's students. So they are already mature people, or they are already grown-ups or adults. So I feel that same experiences can be transferred to any other international organization when they need an ambassador. So I don't mind, charting that path in future if I should get a role in that regard. So yeah, it is on my CV. Yeah. So it has been very, very impactful for me. The fact that I'm able to assist students is very satisfying for me. It is also something I pride myself in. Yes, I do, because the fact that I'm able to clear lots of misconceptions, even till date. Sometimes you share information with people and they don't even, it's quite difficult sometimes dealing with, some people, especially when they feel that their source of information is right. Even if it's wrong, it's difficult for you to clarify, or it's difficult for you to, clear that out of their head that no, it is not that way, it is this way, because probably the agents they trusted has told them that. But you see, sometimes it's different. So being able to assist my school to be able to, communicate with people, especially not just from my country, but from different people in different continents, is an experience for me. Is an eye-opening, sort of thing for me, because I have developed marketing skills out of it. I've developed communication and organizational skills out of it. Problem solving. Sometimes you need to be extra patient, because at a point with Ghanaian students, we had a lot of, a bit of some, issues in there, and you needed to know how to calm people down. You needed to know how to, be patient and listen to people's plight and all that. So it's an interesting, journey for me, over the years. And I have been rewarded by the school for it. And I have this, it's also self-rewarding for me too at the same time. So yes, I would encourage everyone out there that if you should get a university in the UK and then there should be any role of this type, please apply for it. Apply. And the funny thing is, it didn't take my full 20 hours a week. So I had the liberty of applying to other jobs. I think I'll do that in my next video. How I was able to combine, I think 3 or 4 jobs. During my university, process, during my year, I was working for 3 or 4 different, different organizations at the same time. Because like I told you, sometimes in a whole week, you may just work about 5 hours. In a whole week, you may work about 6 hours, sometimes 9 hours. Sometimes it may just be an hour or 2, in a week. So it means that you have more hours to work. So you can have other jobs to do at the same time. And for me, it was good because I get to get different experiences working for different organizations. And when I came, I was not too interested in working as a carer, because that was what the majority of the people were doing. But I tried it and I didn't like it. So I wanted to focus on other, jobs that I could get. And yes, so I was able to secure a few of them. And then I did them combined, ensuring that I was doing my 20 hours in a week or sometimes less. So I'll share how I was able to combine all of them and still be able to, complete my school. So guys, thank you very much for listening to me. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this page. I'll be very, very happy that you do that. And I have a lot more of information to share with you. Now I'm almost done with my investment course. And there's a lot I'd want to share with, especially having an experience here in the UK and also in Ghana and even in Africa. So I'm here to give you lots of different ideas as to what you can do, with your money, with your time, what you should be doing. Trust me, I have all the gist. So just subscribe. Thank you very much for listening to me.